Good afternoon. How is everybody? I know it's the late afternoon hour, and I'm glad that you are here and you've stayed through the whole program. It's awesome. My name is Sherry Long, and I work for the Department of Agriculture with the program Ag in the Classroom, and we've added Farm to School with Ag in the Classroom. So my two partners and I are trying to figure out, rather than to say Ag in the Classroom / Farm to School, what are we going to call it? But it's Ag in the Classroom Farm to School program with the Department of Agriculture. A little background on myself. I am a former classroom teacher. I taught in the Moore Public School System for 15 years. I substitute taught my first year, and then after that I taught first grade for 8 years, and then I was the library media specialist until I became a state coordinator for the Department of Ag 6 years ago. I am still, we all three of us still consider ourselves educators, but now we're not educating our little kiddos, we're educating you all as teachers and educational professionals. And so I'm glad that you're here with me today. I'm going to share with you a little bit about Farm to School, Ag in the Classroom, as a resource for you guys to have in the schools. We've heard this morning about the USDA's final rule on the wellness policy, all of those legal things and lawful things. Now we're going to talk about the resources that you guys have with us. And pardon me, I'm going to have to take a drink. Farm to School, Ag in the Classroom, is a collaborative effort between the Department of Agriculture, the State Department of Education with Child Nutrition, and Cooperative Extension with OSU out of Stillwater. And so all of us are a great resource for you all in the school system. I'm going to get a show of hands because I know I have familiar faces in the audience that I know are my champions for Farm to School, but how many of you do Farm to School at your schools? My champion. And we are so glad, I'm glad that Marilyn is here today. How many of you have heard of Farm to School before? All right. How many of you want to do Farm to School, but you're just not quite sure how to get that accomplished? All right, that's good, that's good. All right, well, we're going to talk a little bit. I want you, first of all, I've got a couple of handouts that I gave you in the handouts that we're passing out. If you'll get those three handouts that pertain to Farm to School. And then you have a handout that has an information sheet. If you would pull that out for me and just fill that out, I'm not going to come to your school and just drive you crazy, okay? But I do need to have this documentation that you attended this session here so that I just have a count to put in my reports that I have to give. Those of you that are watching this live stream, you can just, I'm going to give my email address. At the end, you can just email me and say I was sitting in on live stream, and that will help me with our head count with that. While you're filling that out, let me talk a little bit. I'm not going to read through the documents because you guys can read, but I'm going to touch a little bit on what Farm to School is and then why Farm to School is important. Farm to School enriches the connection communities have with fresh, healthy food and local food producers by changing food purchasing and education practices at schools and early care and education sites. So I've heard that theme running through this morning, that we want to engage our families, engage those communities, and that is what is so great about Farm to School, because it's going to bring all of those entities together. So why Farm to School? There's a three win-win-win solution with Farm to School. Kids win. Farm to School provides all kids access to nutritious, high-quality local food so they are ready to learn and grow. Farm to school activities enhance classroom education through hands-on learning related to food, health, agriculture, and nutrition. Farmers win because farm to school can serve as a significant financial opportunity for farmers, fishers, ranchers, food processors, and food manufacturers by opening the doors to an institutional market worth billions of dollars. And then communities win. Farm to school benefits everyone from students, teachers, and administrators to parents and farmers, providing opportunities to build family and community engagement. Buying from local producers and processors creates new jobs and strengthens the local economy. All right, so those are three important reasons why farm to school is so good for our school kids, our kiddos. And you heard me say about the educational piece, the hands-on activity learning. That's where Ag in the Classroom can bring into play some things that you all can help. You can get your teachers in your building involved with the Ag in the Classroom to bring those hands-on things into the classroom so that you can then reiterate what they've taught in the classroom in your school cafeterias by bringing in those local foods to serve on their lunch trays or to do as a taste testing. I know that Cass talked about taste testing earlier. I know, Marilyn, you do some taste testing, correct? So Marilyn does some taste testing, and I know there's some others in the state that use Farm to School that aren't here today, but they also encourage the taste testing. The educational content for Ag in the Classroom, we start with pre-K. We go all the way to 12th grade. We are aligned with the Oklahoma Academic Standards. We do all of our lessons are targeted with those core subjects of reading, math, science, social studies, language arts. They are research-based, and of course, many of them are cross-curricular. They'll incorporate multiple subjects within that lesson. And all of them are hands-on and interactive. We have smartboard lessons. We have PowerPoints. How many of you liked playing the Kahoot game with Darren? That was fun, wasn't it? Well, we have several Kahoot games on the Ag in the Classroom website. And there are a few. I was trying, when he did it, because I thought, I'm going to bring up Kahoot. And then Darren did it, and I was like, okay, now which ones of our lessons have to do with nutrition? And I know there are a few on there that are nutrition content, but I'm going to encourage you guys that if you can come up with some Kahoot games that are nutrition-based, to send them to us, because we might be able to find a lesson and incorporate it into one of our Ag in the Classroom lessons. So hopefully, so far, you're seeing the melding of Farm to School and Ag in the Classroom and how well of a partnership it is. Benefits of Farm to School. There are 3 benefits. There's more than that, but there are 3 benefits that I want to talk about. We talked about how Farm to School enriches the connection to schools and the communities. But first of all, I want to talk about procurement, because procurement is important to you all as the child nutrition folks. Local foods are purchased, promoted, and served in the cafeteria or as a snack or taste test. And I know a lot of the folks, we want to get farmers connected to the schools as much as possible so that you're going to get locally grown food. But I want you to think about for a minute where your schools are located, and if you can think of 3 or more farmers that are in your area. Can you do that? you can either do this or this, and it'll let me know, okay? In some areas, they can. And then in other areas, it might be one, or it might not be any. But you're really wanting to get the local food to your school cafeteria. You can use your vendors. Using your vendors to bring in that local food. So whatever vendors you're using, Benny Keith, Cisco, whomever else you're using, if they can get you that local food, use them. Marilyn, I think, kind of refresh my memory, just tell me if I'm right or wrong. Don't you go and visit the farmers that are in your area and you get the produce directly from them? He comes to her back door. Don't we wish that we all had farmers that came to our back door? And we do have schools, like Morrison, that have that opportunity. We have some schools in Tulsa. I know Lisa Griffin in Tulsa goes to some of those places herself, and she is able to pick up the produce. That is not feasible for everybody, and we know that. But please remember that you can use your vendors. We want it as local as we can get it. Sometimes it depends on what area you live in, what you can define as local. And I think we've all had that struggle of trying to figure out what's local. If it's grown in Oklahoma, in my opinion, it's local, okay? And that's what we want the kids to experience. But even if it's not local, fresh fruits and vegetables on those school trays is our ultimate purpose, is to get those kids making those healthy food choices. And when they have that opportunity in the cafeteria, you know, at this point, yes, we definitely want it Oklahoma grown. But if it can't be, as long as it's fresh, we're really, really good with that. All right, and of course, I've talked to you a little bit about the education piece. Students participate in education activities related to agriculture, food, health, or nutrition. And that should say and nutrition. And so that's what we try to do as Ag in the Classroom coordinators, is we come in, we train your teaching staff. Do we have any classroom teachers here today at all? We might have earlier, okay? We bring in, we go to you, actually, and we want to come into your school and we want to give and offer professional development training to the teachers so that they can use that in the classroom, but we also challenge them to become really good friends with you guys. You need to make your child nutrition person, your head cook, your whatever it is in your school, whatever that position title is, make them your best friend, because that's the partnership we want to see. And I know Marilyn's got some great teacher partners. In fact, one of her teacher partners is our National Ag in the Classroom winner this year. And so that's what we want to see. Things happening in the cafeteria, things happening in the classroom, and bringing those things together so that the kids are going to go, oh, wow, okay, well, Miss Bales taught me about this, and then Miss Marilyn I had this in the cafeteria for me. And so they're making those connections, and then in turn going home and saying, hey, Mom and Dad, I tried asparagus today, and I really want you to buy me some asparagus. I had that happen as a classroom teacher, and I had parents going, thanks. Now I have to go buy asparagus. They didn't like asparagus. But now their kids do, because I brought in a little taste test and let them taste the asparagus. And so kind of making them stretch a little bit and reaching out and exploring those healthy choices to give them some really good foods to eat. And then, of course, another component and benefit of Farm to School is school gardening. And I know some of you are probably thinking, I don't have oodles and oodles and oodles of space to plant a school garden, but school gardens don't take up a whole lot of room. You can have a teacher, get some champion teachers to get with you, and they can do planter gardens. You can get a Rubbermaid container and plant tomatoes, or, if you get it deep enough, you can get some containers and plant potatoes. Lots and lots of different things that you can do with school gardens. And I have several people that have asked. I've had phone calls that said, if we have a school garden or we have access to a school garden, is there a rule or a law that says that I can or cannot serve it in my cafeteria? No, there's not. You have access to a fresh garden somewhere, use that fresh fruits and vegetables and serve it on that tray. Even if you have to just do it with one grade level or a class. I know that we're not going to have farmers in our areas that have oodles and oodles of produce for your whole school, but you might, depending on the size of your school. So there's grants out there everywhere. We, as the Department of Ag and Farm to School, we don't have specific grants for school gardens, but there are lots of places that you can go. Lowe's, Home Depot, what was the other one you told me? Whole Foods will give grants. Chef Ann's Foundation, if you'll get on there, she has offered some school gardening grants. So lots of things, lots of ways that you can get money. Keep checking the Farm to School website, and I'm going to give that to you in a minute. The National Farm to School website, and then USDA. If you just Google USDA or get on the USDA's website and look up Farm to School, there'll be some things in there about grants. We do offer professional training specifically for our educators, but this summer we have two great opportunities that we're taking our child nutrition directors on, and you see that on our website here. We're going to take 2 specialty crop tours. Let's see if I can get it to go down a little bit. We're going to do 2 tours, one in Tulsa and then one in Oklahoma City and Mustang area. I'm sad to tell you that they are full, but in the future, we're hoping that we can have some more of these. Most of these have been provided to you all because of a grant that we wrote, but if that opportunity is a need and is expressed by everybody, we will do our best to continue with that. We take teachers on a 3-day tour. We're taking it, Darren taught you about Route 66. We're going to do ag on Route 66 this summer, and we're going to take them east on Route 66 from Kellyville to Miami and then back, and we do that tour for 2 years, and then we'll do another one centrally located for 2 years, and then another one out west. So we'll be on Route 66 for a little while. But we offer those on-site trainings. I will come to your school, or one of us will come to your school and provide your staff with training, your educational staff. If you want training for your cafeteria staff, that's something that we know is a need in some places, maybe trying to connect that educational piece to the cafeteria. We're new at that. This program has not always been with Ag in the Classroom, so we're open and willing to work with you on some of that on-site training. We have conferences. Our state summer conference for our teachers is July 6th at the Morton Norman Technology Center on Penn. But we have, hopefully, and this is where y'all are going to come in, I want you to put this date down as a tentative date. But August 3rd is our projected date if we get the Farm to School grant that I wrote. We wrote a grant for trying to increase Farm to School in Oklahoma. How do we make Farm to School in Oklahoma better than what we have now, and just as good, if not better, than other states around us with the same obstacles that we have, which is our growing season and the lack of farmers and those kind of things. So our proposal is to bring together you guys as Child Nutrition, the local farmers and ranchers that are out there that might not be participating, that aren't participating in Farm to School, as well as Rachel Spencer from USDA is coming, Child Nutrition here at SDE, where we're going to work with them for them to have a presence there. Just bringing everybody to the table, saying, okay, and of course it'll be much more structured than what I'm describing to you, but basically to say, here's what we have, here's what's going on, how can we make it better, okay? And so we want you all to be a part of that, because we need to hear from you of what you all need, because there's no sense in doing something that you're like, well, I'm never going to use that. That's what this is targeted for, is for you guys to tell us as child nutrition, as superintendents, as principals, what it is that your school would need to participate really well with Farm to School. I do want to encourage you to do cooking for kids. I'm not a cook. I mean, I cook, but I'm not a cafeteria cook. But I took that training, and boy, I learned how to be one really quick. And I just bless you, because we know it's a lot of work. And I took that training with Cass and Dr. Hildebrand at Stillwater this last summer. And it was an eye-opener, because I said it would be really easy for us to tell these child nutrition folks, do this, do this, do this, until we've been in their shoes. And now I'm backing down going, well, we might not want to tell them to do this and this. We might want to suggest that, how can we make it better if we do this and this and this? And so, but I want to encourage you, if you haven't attended the Cooking for Kids training, please do so. One of the things I did want to share with you is the National Farm to School network has changed a little bit, just changed in structure. When we first became, Farm to School was first added to Ag in the Classroom, we were a state lead for Oklahoma. Oklahoma is now a core partner with National Farm to School, which basically my title, my duties, none of that's changed. I'm still doing the same thing, but we're core partners. The State Department of Agriculture is the core partner because I am the state lead for Farm to School, then I am the core partner. But what is really great is they wanted us to have supporting partners. So the State Department of Education Child Nutrition Office is our supporting partner. And so we are working together, as all that I just mentioned, to make Farm to School better for us here in Oklahoma, for you as child nutrition, for the principals and the superintendents to see the importance of adding agriculture education into the classrooms, and then of course ultimately for the kiddos to have that agricultural literacy, to have that component, to know that when they do become 18, 19, 20-year-olds, that they can make a healthier choice than a can of Dr. Pepper and a bag of Doritos. All right, so anyway, I wanted to let you know. So if you are ever asked anything about Farm to School and this core partner, we are a core partner. Oklahoma is a core partner with the National Farm to School. The resources that I gave you today, and you're going to want to take this down, is you can find those resources and a whole lot more that I didn't print out at farmtoschool.org/resources. And that's on the National Farm to School network. And all of that can be downloaded and printed off if you need to have those printed off for your building. I do have, really quickly, some resources that I want to share with you as an educational piece, but even as in the cafeteria that you can use with your kiddos or to find that champion teacher. We have a set of posters. Marilyn, do you have these posters? I know you do. It's a set of 12 posters. They're about this big when they're unfolded, and they look great laminated. And they showcase our specialty crops that we grow in Oklahoma. I only have one set, but we actually have two sets, and we aren't, because of budgets, aren't able to print those right now. But you can go on our website, and I'm going to go show you where that is. This is our Oklahoma Ag in the Classroom website, And under additional resources, you're going to be able to see Harvest of the Month. There they are. And you can print them off at school, wherever, and you can print all 24 of them. And that gives some nutrition information at the bottom. It gives information about the specialty crop and then any Ag in the Classroom lesson that is connected with that. And really quick, we have 2 specialty crop Ag Mags. This one is for your pre-K through 2nd grade. This one is 3 through 8. I have had some FACS teachers ask for them as well. But they showcase the specialty crops, information, but then there are some consumable pages in there for the students to use. And you can get those, you can print those off of this same page here. Whoops. I don't want to, yeah. Hold on. I don't want to lose it. Activity books, you'll be able to print that off of there. If we come to your school, we'll bring you class sets. If you know of a champion teacher that you want to champion with, tell me, email me, and I'm going to give you my email address. It's Sherry, CHERI, .long, LONG, at ag.ok.gov. And email me and I'll send you a set. I just need you to tell me how much a set is if you find that champion teacher. But we would love to come to your school to do that professional development, and that professional development will not cost your schools anything. It's free. It's what they pay us, why they pay us the big bucks. It's to come and do that professional development for you. But inside the ones for 3rd through 8th, it's consumable pages as well. All right. I think I've given you all of the websites that you would need, the Ag in the Classroom website and my email. So I'm done.